What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see back behind me, on this cloudy, cool morning. Temperatures, I think, just barely clicked up above 50 right now. I started today trying to be a tough guy with short sleeve shirt on out here, but that lasted about 5 minutes into my first test, and I had to grab me some sleeves. There's no kind of wind to speak of, or humidity, or any kind of sun baking me, though, so I really ain't gonna complain too much. I've gotten one pretty interesting test done so far, and this right here should be a good 10 mil test. So, of course, we got the jelly contraption ready to go with a couple of chronos and these 2 blocks of gel. Only one test done so far, and as you can see, it left me plenty of room basically to get anything done that I needed to get done. Of course, I've got my heavy clothing barrier up front here with a layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got here is some more of what I guess I have to really call my favorite handgun caliber, some more good old 10 mil. Now, this was actually provided to me by Combat Medic, so I really appreciate that. Big thanks to him for that. We've got the Underwood 10 mil TAC-XP. This is their 155 grain solid copper expander. Now, this is actually a Barnes projectile. I'm sure all y'all know several people load up this TAC-XP projectile. This load particularly is saying 1,400 feet per second, which I really do hope it meets, because that's right around where I want my 10 mil to be. I have really no doubt that we're going to see some good performance out of this stuff. We're going to see some fantastic expansion. You can pretty much set your watch on the performance from this Barnes projectile. You're going to be getting great expansion, probably really nice penetration. I would say around 14 to 16 inches, but the energy is going to be the make or break for me. If it hits that 1,400 or at least very close, I'm all good with it. But if we start dropping down too low, it's just the way I am with 10 mil. If I'm carrying 10 mil, I want it to be 650, 675 foot-pounds of energy, or I ain't bothering with it. But here's a look at the cartridge. Nice nickel-plated case with that solid copper Barnes projectile. And of course, what I'm going to be using to test them with is my usual tools here. We've got the G20 that's got the 4.6 inch barrel, and then I've got my personal EDC here, the G29 that's got the 3.8 inch. So once again, I really have no doubt we're going to see some very nice performance out here. I just hope it's up to speed for 10 mil like I like it to be. Let's get all this stuff reset and find out. All right, let's see what these copper baddies will do. I'm going to do a 5-round average from each barrel length. We're going to go ahead and start with the G20, because I really hope to see that 1,400. You will see multiple readings from this lab radar. The large number's right here at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet, and then the others are set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. So remember, 1,400, what the box is claiming, that would give us like 670 something, maybe 675 energy. I really don't want to drop a whole lot below that at all. 1321, 1312, 1331, 1316, and 1349. So nothing terrible, not exactly where I would like to see it. I will say very, very mild recoil with this stuff right here. Let's check out the average. All right, I ain't gonna give this stuff too hard of a time, because it's not bad by any means. We had a 5-round average here of 1326. That's gonna give us, that should still give us over 600 foot-pounds of energy. So again, I'm not saying this is bad by any means, and I would consider this true 10 mil if we're using that term. We had an extreme spread of 37 with a 14.8 standard deviation. So nice stuff right here. Again, I had no doubt it's going to perform well. I would like to see it a touch more. That's just how I am. Y'all know how I'm comparing every single 10 mil round that I run to the Buffalo Bore 180 grain. That stuff eclipses 1,300 with a 180 grain for my G20. So I can't help but compare everything else to that. That's just the way it is, and that's just always the way it's going to be with me. So take any criticism of these rounds from me as just extreme criticism, because I'm just very picky. All that being said, again, I think these did a fine job. Let's get it reset and see what the 29 does. All right, let's see what we get from the 29. We shouldn't lose a whole lot. You're not talking about a big barrel difference. This is a 155, so you probably lose a little more than you would with a 180, but shouldn't be too much. 1262, 1243, 1251, 1246, and 1274, so about what I figured we'd lose, not a whole lot. And again, very mild recoil with these copper rounds. Let's check out the average. All right, so that time our 5-round average was 1255 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 32 with a 12.9 standard deviation. Seemed like the spread is about the same from both of them. 1255 here, and if you remember on the 20, it was 1326, so that's what, 71 feet per second difference between them. I mean, 71 feet per second, I mean, that's a decent little bit of difference right there. All that being said, again, both of these I have absolutely no doubt are going to do a fantastic job right here in the gel. So let's get this stuff set up. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's copper pulse stopper jelly time. We'll put one from each barrel length into the gel, starting with the 20 here. Again, there's really no doubt we're going to see some fantastic performance right here. Well, let's see what they got for us. Oh no, I think it scooted out the top. Let me go check it out. All right, let's try that again. I did my job on that one. I went straight where I wanted to. It just decided to curve at the end. Wasn't really nothing I could do about that. Whew, that was perfectly where I wanted to put it. Let me go check it out. All right, it would have been nice if it behaved like that the first time. Let's see if I can do this one more time with the G20. I think that was another perfect one. Let's go check this stuff out. All right, let's check this stuff out down here, y'all. Very, very nice performance all the way around down here. Absolutely no surprise. I expected fantastic performance. A little more penetration than I thought we might get with that G20, but that does make sense with the little extra velocity. All three of them look beautiful. They look fantastic. The one on the top, obviously, that was the first one from the G20. It did well, too. You can see, and it was probably right at the end of its travel and just did escape, but very nice disruption and energy transfer all the way through its travel, and then it popped out. Up under that, that was the second G20. More of the same. Fantastic energy transfer right here. I mean, this is beautiful. Very nice spiral action that you see a lot with these solid copper expanders. You did lose a little bit of petals or something right there, so a little bit of loss. It keeps on trucking into this second block, and this one goes probably 3.5 to 4 inches into this second block with some very, very nice expansion. And then rounding things out down on the very bottom, that's the G29. Once again, beautiful performance right here. Comes in, immediate expansion, immediate energy transfer all the way through this block once again. This one goes into the second block also, but it stops maybe at about 1 inch to 1.25 inches or so. And again, very, very nice expansion. But let's see just how far they went. The one on the top, if y'all are curious, it went out at exactly 19. The second one from the 20, it went out here to 20.5, and then the 29 stopped at 17.5. And here's your closer look. Looks like some triplets right here. Very, very nice from all three of these. See that little piece of copper we lost right there? That's a little surprising, but no big deal there. Keeps on trucking all three of them into the second block. And there you can see some really nice expansion. Pretty much an impossible view here from the top. They're just almost right on top of each other, but you can see no matter how you look at these things, you're looking at some really good performance right here. They got their job done, and as long as you do yours, I think you're pretty safe carrying these. All right, let's check out these projectiles, y'all. Very, very nice looking copper expanders here, and we got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about with them. This one right here is from the G20. This is from the 29, so interesting. You can see this is a smaller ending size just because those petals pushed back so far and so close against the base there, which we see a lot of times. Also, if you can see here, this is the 20. That's the one that lost the petal, and you can see there are actually a few more that were right on the ragged edge of being lost. So that tells me you really can't push these copper Barnes much faster than this right here. You know, I'm a fan of lead anyway. Given the choice, I'm taking a lead round over a copper. So this just kind of confirms my opinion on that right there. Now the one from the 29, you can see much more intact, much more stable at those velocities. That little bit extra though from that 20, you can see any more and you would start losing many more pedals. But let's get some numbers on them and see what we got there. They started at 155. This one that lost a pedal is actually at 149.9, so obviously we lost a little something there. This one here, probably nothing. Yeah, 155.2 on that one, so absolutely no loss there. And then for the sizes on them, we'll do the G20 first here. This is going to be smaller, no doubt about it. You got 528 and 516, so nice expansion right there. And then this one from the 29, you got 643 and 661. So again, very, very nice even expansion right there. And once again, obviously we had that bigger final size just because it didn't expand quite as much from the G29. So there you go, y'all. The Underwood 10 mil 155 grain loaded with the Barnes TAC-XP. Very nice performance right here. Again, my one and only complaint, and you can say I'm being overcritical, maybe I am, but I just want more energy from it. If I'm carrying 10 mil for my protection, I want every bit I can get. That being said, again, these did a fantastic job, and I have no doubt they would get the job done if you did yours. But as far as 10 mil, I just want everything I can get within the realm of being safe for my tools when it comes to 10 mil. So given the choice between something like this and something a little bit spicier, even if I have to pay more, I'm going with the spicier stuff. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up right there for another pretty good 10 mil test. Once again, don't take my criticism of this round and not being as spicy as I personally want as me saying this is a bad round. This stuff did a fantastic job, absolutely no doubt about it. It did a great job. It would totally get the job done that most anybody would find themselves up against. But like I've already said, if I'm carrying 10 mil, and I do carry 10 mil, I'm carrying the hottest, strongest stuff that is still safe to be carried. And for me, that's the 180 grain buffalo bore. That's just the way it is. That's what I will always compare every single other 10 mil round to. And if it falls short of that performance the buffalo bore gives me with the 180 grain 10 mil, then it falls short of what I want for a 10 mil. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Those of y'all especially who carry 10 mil, what do you think about the performance right here? What round do you carry in 10 mil? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Big thanks as always to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got one more really good test planned for out there, speaking of buffalo boars, so make sure you stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.